Not everything that shines is gold. Sometimes, chasing riches blindly can lead you into darkness. Choose love. Choose wisdom. Hello my lovely people. If you love sweet, interesting stories that teach life lessons, you are in the right place. Please hit the subscribe button, like, and share with your friends so you won't miss any of our amazing stories. Thank you so much. Let's dive into the story. In a quiet village deep inside Imo State, Nigeria, there lived two beautiful young girls, Mary and Angela. From the day they were born, they had been friends. Their mothers were best friends too, so both girls grew up like sisters, always together. They went to the same school. They sat on the same bench. They fetched water together, played local games, and shared food under the mango tree. Everyone in the village called them the twin friends, even though they were not related by blood. Angela was the taller one. She had bright eyes and skin like fresh palm oil. People often turned their heads when she passed. Mary was shorter, with soft, calm beauty. She didn't talk much, but her smile was like sunshine after a heavy rain. Even though they were best friends, there was one small problem: Angela liked competition. If Mary wore a new wrapper, Angela would find a brighter one. If Mary got 5 suitors, Angela wanted 10. But Mary didn't mind. She always told Angela, "My sister, life is not a race. What will be, will be." Angela would laugh and say, "I just want the best. You know I'm the most beautiful girl in this village." They both dreamed of marrying good men one day. But not just any men, rich men. Every time they sat under the tree chewing sugarcane, they would talk about wedding gowns, cars, and palace life. One evening, their dreams suddenly felt close. A town crier walked around the village, hitting his wooden gong. "Wow, great news from the palace. Prince Abina has finished his studies abroad and is coming home to choose a wife." The whole village buzzed like a broken generator. The prince, looking for a wife. And not just any wife he would pick from the village maidens who came to dance at the palace. Angela jumped up and shouted, "He must pick me. I am the finest girl in this village." Mary laughed. "Let him choose with his heart. It's not only beauty that matters." Angela waved her hand. "My dear Mary, men want beauty first. Watch and see, the prince will not resist me." From that day on, the competition began. Angela went to the tailor and told her to sew the most dazzling outfit. Mary simply washed her best wrapper, ironed it carefully, and smiled. As the dance day got closer, all the young girls in the village prepared. But none of them were as prepared or as serious as Angela and Mary. The day after the town crier made his announcement, the whole village changed. Girls began walking with extra style. Mothers started rubbing their daughters' faces with special herbs to make them glow. Even the market women gossiped as they sold vegetables. "Have you seen Angela's waist beads? They say she imported them from China. I heard Mary is not even trying, she's just trusting her natural beauty." But Angela was not joking. She visited the hair salon in the next town. She bought new powder, beads, and perfumes. She even practiced her dance steps in front of the mirror every night. One afternoon, under the mango tree, Angela turned to Mary and said, "Let me tell you something. This is not the time to be shy. This is a royal chance. If Prince Abina sees me dancing, he will forget every other girl." Mary smiled quietly. "Maybe, but I will not stress myself too much. We just go and dance like every other girl. If he picks me, fine. If not, life goes on." Angela laughed loudly. "That's why you will remain in the village, my dear. Me, I am leaving here as a queen." Even though Mary said nothing, her heart felt somehow. She was happy for Angela's confidence, but she worried about her friend's pride. Angela believed too much in her beauty. She didn't understand that sometimes, a humble heart attracts more favor than a proud face. As the week rolled by, drums began to sound from the palace. Decorations went up. Banners were hung. The royal guards were busy preparing. Prince Abina had finally arrived from the UK, tall, dark, and handsome, just like the story said. The village women sang songs of welcome. The chiefs wore red caps and white beads. The king smiled like a proud father. Everyone was excited. Then the king made an announcement. "In 3 days, all the maidens will come to the palace square. They will dance in front of the royal family, then, Prince Abina will choose his bride." Angela nearly fainted from excitement. She ran to Mary's house, jumping like a child. 3 days, Mary. 3. I can already see myself wearing royal gold. Oh my goodness, I need to go and do facial scrub again. Mary chuckled and said, "Just don't break your leg before the dance, Angela." Angela looked at her. "Mary, don't you want to marry the prince too?" Mary nodded slowly. "Yes, but if it's not me, I will be happy for whoever he chooses even if it's you." Angela blinked in surprise. "Huh, you will be happy for me?" "Yes," Mary said with a gentle voice. "You're my friend, that's what friends do." Angela didn't know what to say. For a second, her proud heart felt small. But she quickly brushed the feeling off and smiled. "Well, thank you, my sister. But get ready, the prince is mine." The night before the dance, Mary's mother helped her prepare her wrapper. They didn't have much, but Mary's clothes were neat and clean. Her hair was well plaited, and her heart was full of peace. Angela's house, on the other hand, was full of makeup, clothes, perfumes, and loud music. She was ready to slay. As both girls went to bed, they looked out of their windows at the big palace light in the distance, each one with a different dream in her heart. The morning of the big dance arrived like a festival. From the moment the sun rose, drums were beating, women were singing, and young girls were running up and down the village road, preparing for the event of the year. The air smelled like fresh palm oil, roasted yam, and celebration. Mary woke up early. She washed her face, oiled her legs, and tied her wrapper. It was a simple outfit, but she looked lovely in it. Her mother hugged her gently and said, "My daughter, go and dance with joy in your heart. What is yours will not pass you by." Mary smiled. She didn't have earrings as big as Angela's. She didn't even have makeup. But she had something else, a calm heart full of hope. Angela, on the other hand, came out like a queen. Her wrapper was glittering. Her waist beads made music as she walked. Her face was full of powder, and her smile was loud and confident. She turned to her mother and said, "Today, I will enter that palace and never come out again unless I am carrying the prince's ring." Her mother laughed proudly. "My daughter, you were born for greatness." Soon, the palace gates were wide open. The village girls gathered inside the royal square, standing in lines, preparing for their turn to dance. The king sat in a big golden chair, his crown shining like the morning sun. Beside him sat Prince Abina, tall, quiet, and watching with a sharp eye. Mary and Angela stood side by side. Angela whispered, "Look at him, he's already looking at me, this is my day." Mary didn't say a word. She just smiled and waited. Then the drummers started playing. One by one, the girls came out to dance. Some danced too fast. Some danced like they were fighting the ground. Some smiled too much. But the prince just watched them all without saying anything. Finally, it was Angela's turn. She stepped out like a goddess. The sun caught the glitter on her wrapper. Her waist moved like waves. Her eyes sparkled. The crowd clapped. Even the guards nodded in admiration. She danced like a peacock, proud, bold, and confident. When she finished, she blew a kiss toward the prince and walked back, chest high. Then it was Mary's turn. She came out quietly. Her steps were gentle. Her eyes were soft. She didn't shake her waist too much. She didn't try to outshine anyone. She just danced like the breeze, calm, smooth, and peaceful. As she danced, the prince leaned forward. His mother, the queen, whispered to him, "This one dances with her spirit, she is not showing off." The prince nodded. When Mary finished, she bowed her head and returned to her place beside Angela. Angela smirked and said, "Your dance was okay, but not royal." Mary smiled and replied, "Let's wait and see." Finally, the drums stopped. The king stood up and raised his hand. The crowd went quiet. Then Prince Abina rose to his feet, held a small golden staff, and walked down from his throne. He moved slowly through the line of girls. Some held their breath. Some bent their heads. Some looked at him with big eyes. He passed Angela. He passed 3 other girls. Then he stopped in front of Mary. The crowd gasped. What? Is he choosing Mary? Angela's heart began to race. The prince smiled, held Mary's hand gently, and said loud enough for all to hear, "This is the one my spirit chooses." The crowd shouted with joy. The queen clapped her hands. The king smiled proudly. But Angela stood still, her hands shaking, her heart breaking. She forced a smile, but inside, she was on fire. The celebration was loud, but Angela's heart was quiet, too quiet. People danced. Drums played. The king smiled. Prince Abina held Mary's hand and led her to the palace entrance. Her face was full of surprise, joy, and confusion all mixed together. She didn't expect it. She wasn't even trying to win. But Angela, Oh, Angela's smile had disappeared. Her chest was tight. Her hands were cold. How can it be Mary? She thought to herself. Me, Angela, the finest girl in the village. Be passed like this. Villagers clapped as Mary and the prince entered the palace. Angela turned her face away. She picked up her wrapper and walked home with fire in her eyes. That night, Angela didn't sleep well. She tossed and turned on her bamboo bed. She remembered the way Mary danced, simple and calm, nothing special. But still, the prince chose her. Maybe he didn't see me well, she whispered to herself. Or maybe Mary used something, a charm. Her heart grew bitter. The next morning, Mary rushed to Angela's house with joy. She hugged her and said, "My sister, I'm still dreaming. Can you believe it? He chose me. Me, Mary." Angela forced a smile. "Wow, I'm happy for you," she said, but her voice was flat like old slippers. Mary sat down and held Angela's hand. "I know this might be hard. You deserve to be happy too. Many good men will come. Don't wait too long. Just follow your heart." Angela pulled her hand away slowly. "Thank you, but I'm not just looking for any man. I want what you have or more." Mary looked at her with soft eyes. "Angela, a rich man without love is like sweet food with poison inside. Be careful." But Angela rolled her eyes. "Please, don't start preaching. Not everyone wants a poor man with good manners." Mary stood up and smiled gently. "I'm not preaching. I just want you to be happy, my friend." Angela watched her walk away. In her heart, the anger grew bigger. Why her? Why not me? Weeks passed. The whole village started calling Mary the princess bride. She moved into the palace and started learning royal behavior. Her parents were proud. The villagers celebrated her. She remained humble and still came to visit Angela. But the visits didn't feel the same. Angela became distant. She rejected every man that came to ask for her hand in marriage. Some were teachers, some were farmers, some even had shops in town. But Angela said no to all of them. "They're not rich enough," she told herself. Mary sat with her one day and said, "Angela, please, you're still young and beautiful. Don't reject every man just because they don't have cars or money. Life can surprise you. Money can come tomorrow." Angela looked at her and said sharply, "Easy for you to say, princess. You've already gotten the prince. Me, I'm still here waiting for someone better. And I won't settle for less." Mary's heart broke a little. Her friend had changed. "Please, Angela, don't let envy blind you. There's more to life than wealth." But Angela stood up, tied her wrapper, and said, "If love can't bring gold, then what's the use?" And with that, she walked away. Angela's heart was now full of one thing, greed. She didn't care about love. She didn't care about kindness. She wanted money, status, and attention at all costs. And that decision would lead her into the hands of something very strange. Something not from this world. One hot afternoon, when the sun was high and the village air was quiet, Angela sat alone by the roadside, chewing dry groundnuts and thinking deeply. Most of her mates were now married or engaged. Even girls she used to call ordinary were now building homes and raising children. But Angela, still waiting for the rich man of her dreams. She shook her head and muttered, "Let them say whatever they want. I know what I want. I'm too fine to settle for less." Just then, a black rolled slowly into the village. The villagers turned their heads. Children stopped playing. Women in the market paused with tomatoes in their hands. "Who is that?" they whispered. From the stepped a tall, dark, and handsome man. He wore a clean white shirt, shiny black shoes, and dark sunglasses. He looked like someone from Lagos or even abroad. He walked straight toward Angela. Everyone watched. Angela stood up quickly and adjusted her wrapper. The man smiled and said, "Hello, beautiful. I've heard a lot about you." Angela blushed. "You have? From who?" The man removed his glasses slowly. "People talk about you in this village. They say you're the most beautiful. And I believe it." Angela's heart skipped a beat. She liked what she was hearing. "What's your name?" she asked, twisting her fingers like a shy bride. "Call me Mr. Desmond. I'm new in this part of town, but I'm searching for a good woman, who can stand beside me as a wife." Angela gasped softly. "Wife? So fast? When you see what you want, you don't waste time," Desmond said with a wink. "And from the moment I saw you, I knew you're the one." Angela smiled. Her teeth were shining. The villagers were whispering behind her. "Who is that man? He must be very rich. Angela has finally hit the jackpot." Mary heard the gossip and came to see for herself. She stood at a distance, watching Mr. Desmond as he handed Angela a bouquet of fresh flowers and whispered sweet things into her ear. Later that evening, Mary met Angela in her compound. "Angela," she said softly. "That man, something doesn't feel right." Angela frowned. "What are you saying?" "I'm not sure, but I've never seen him before. He just arrived from nowhere. And he didn't greet the elders. That's not how a real Igbo man behaves." Angela laughed loudly. "So because he didn't bow to your palace people, he's bad?" "No," Mary replied, "I just want you to be careful. Sometimes, things that shine on the outside are dark on the inside." Angela rolled her eyes. "You're jealous because someone richer than your prince wants me." Mary was hurt. "Angela, I'm not jealous. I'm your friend. Please, listen to your heart, not just your eyes." But Angela turned her back. "My heart is fine, Mary. And I'm finally getting my dream man. Whether you like it or not." Mary stood quietly, looked at her friend one last time, and walked away. That night, Angela lay on her bed, holding the rose Desmond gave her. She smiled at the ceiling. Finally, she whispered, "I'm going to be rich and happy." But outside her window, a cold breeze blew. And from the dark corners of the village, shadows began to move silently. Just 1 week after meeting Mr. Desmond, Angela made up her mind. "I'm marrying this man. No more delay. He's rich, handsome, and loves me. What else do I need?" She didn't care that nobody in the village knew where he came from. She didn't care that he never visited her family house like other suitors did. She didn't even care that he always came to see her only in the evenings, never in the daylight. When Mary heard the news, she rushed to Angela's house. "Angela, you're marrying him next week. So fast." Angela was painting her nails and humming. "Yes, my dear, no time to waste. Desmond says he has to travel soon, and he wants me to go with him as his wife." Mary looked worried. "But you haven't even seen where he lives. You don't know his people. He hasn't done proper introduction." Angela blew on her nails and smiled. "This is not older days, Mary. We are modern women. Love doesn't wait for tradition. But marriage is not makeup, Angela. It's forever." Angela stood up sharply. "Please, if you don't support me, leave me alone. Not everyone wants to marry a prince. Some of us want billionaires." Mary felt pain in her heart. She tried one more time. "Even if he has money, something still feels strange. Angela, just wait a little. Investigate first." But Angela shouted, "Go back to your palace. I don't need your advice." Mary quietly left, tears in her eyes. Soon, Desmond gave Angela money to rent a hall in a nearby town. He also brought in clothes, shoes, drinks. But here's the truth. Everything was borrowed. Even the car he drove was not his. He told Angela, "Don't worry. Once we marry, I will take you to my real house. I'm just keeping it a secret for now because of security." Angela believed him. "As long as you're rich, baby, I'll follow you anywhere." The wedding was fast and small. Just a few people attended. Angela didn't invite her parents. She said she didn't want village drama. She only told a few friends, and even they were surprised it happened so quietly. Desmond wore a black suit and dark shades. He smiled the whole day but said very little. Angela wore a white dress with shiny gold heels. She felt like a queen. At last, she thought, "I've beaten Mary, I have my own rich man now." But something was off. The pastor who came to bless the wedding looked confused. He whispered to Angela, "This man didn't write any father's name. No home address. Are you sure you know him well?" Angela replied with a proud smile. "Pastor, just pray. Don't worry about the rest." The pastor shook his head and continued the prayer. When they exchanged rings, Desmond's fingers felt cold, like ice. Angela noticed it. "Babe, are you okay?" Desmond smiled. "I'm just excited. We're husband and wife now." After the wedding, Desmond told Angela they would spend a few nights in a hotel, then travel to his mansion in another state. Angela agreed, her eyes full of dreams. But Mary wept in her room. She whispered into the night, "Oh God, save my friend. She doesn't know what she's getting into." And somewhere deep in the forest, under a silent moon, something dark was already waiting. After the small wedding, Angela followed Desmond into a clean, well-decorated hotel in a nearby town. At first, she was happy. The hotel had air conditioning, a soft bed, shiny mirrors, and hot water. Angela took pictures and posted some online with the caption, "Married to the richest man ever, don't settle for less." She smiled at her phone, waiting for likes and jealous comments. Desmond sat on the bed, quiet as usual. He barely touched food. He didn't use his phone much. And every time Angela asked about his family, he would change the topic. "Baby, when are we going to your house?" Angela asked one evening, rubbing his shoulder. "Soon," Desmond replied. "There are some things I need to arrange. I don't want any surprises." Angela giggled. "I trust you. I know you're just protecting me from Village Wahala." Desmond smiled slightly, but his eyes looked far. After some weeks, Angela started asking again. "Sweetheart, I'm getting tired of this hotel. I want to see your mansion. Meet your people, let's start our life." Desmond nodded. "Tomorrow, I promise. We'll travel tomorrow evening." Angela jumped and smiled. "Ah, finally. I can't wait." But as she turned around, Desmond's face suddenly became blank. His body became still, and in a voice that didn't sound like his own, he whispered, "Don't forget, not everything that glitters is gold." Angela paused. "Babe, what did you say?" Desmond quickly shook his head and smiled again. "Nothing, you must have heard wrong." Angela laughed, but she felt a strange cold breeze across her neck. That night, she couldn't sleep. Her dreams were filled with dark forests, strange voices, and cold hands. She woke up sweating. Desmond was sitting at the edge of the bed, staring at the wall. His back was straight, his hands on his knees, unmoving. Angela sat up. "Baby, are you okay?" He didn't answer. Angela's heart began to beat fast. "Desmond," she called again, her voice shaky. Suddenly, Desmond stood up. "It's time," he said calmly. "Pack your bags. We're going to my house now." Angela looked at the clock. It was 2:30 a.m. "Now, at this time?" "Yes," he replied, already holding the door open. "The night is the best time to travel." Angela was scared, but she didn't want to seem weak. She quickly packed her clothes, wore her shoes, and followed him out of the hotel. Outside, no car was waiting. Angela looked around. "Where's the car?" Desmond smiled. "We're walking. It's not far from here." Angela was confused. "You said you have plenty cars." "I do," he replied. "They're all at the mansion." They began walking into the night. No stars, no moon, just silence. Angela's slippers made soft sounds on the dusty path. She wanted to ask questions, but something told her to stay quiet. And soon, they reached the graveyard. Angela followed Desmond closely, her legs shaking. They had left the hotel far behind. No houses, no streetlights, no cars. Just an old footpath leading into thick bush. After about 30 minutes, they arrived at the entrance of a graveyard. Angela froze. "Wait. Where are we?" she asked. Desmond didn't turn. He just said, "We're close to home." Angela laughed nervously. "Home? You live near the graveyard?" Desmond turned slowly and smiled. "No, I live inside." Angela's eyes widened. "Inside?" Desmond held her hand gently. "Don't be afraid. I just want to show you something. It's important." Angela's legs refused to move, but Desmond's hand felt strong. Too strong. Like iron. They walked past old tombstones. Dry leaves crunched underfoot. Owls hooted in the distance. Suddenly, Angela saw a large iron gate. Behind it stood a big house, an old colonial mansion. It looked like something from a horror movie. "Is this your house?" she whispered. "Yes," Desmond said calmly. "Come in." He pushed the gate open with one hand. The gate made no sound. Not even a creak. Inside, the compound was neat. Too neat for a graveyard. There were no guards, no lights, but the path to the house was lined with white stones. As they stepped in, the air grew colder. Angela's teeth began to chatter. "Desmond, this place doesn't feel right. It's too cold, too quiet." He looked at her and said something strange. "This is the quiet I've known for a long time. You get used to it when you live with the dead." Angela gasped. "Live with the... What did you just say?" Desmond opened the front door of the mansion. The inside looked beautiful. Shiny floors, tall candles, curtains that moved even though there was no wind. "Come and sit," Desmond said, pointing to a red sofa. Angela sat, heart pounding. Desmond walked toward a painting on the wall. It showed him, standing beside a tombstone with no name. Angela looked around. "Where's your kitchen, your bedroom, the other people?" Desmond turned to her slowly. His face was calm, his voice, softer than before. "Angela, I'm not here to harm you." "Then what is all this?" she cried. "Why do you live here? What's going on?" Desmond took off his sunglasses. His eyes were not normal. They glowed faintly, like candles in the dark. Angela, I am not alive. Not the way you know it. Angela stood up. What? Stop joking. But Desmond continued. I was once like you. Full of dreams. I died chasing money and fame. I came back to this world for one purpose. To warn people like you. Angela's voice cracked. You're a ghost. Desmond nodded slowly. Yes. I took the form of a man to teach you something. You see, I borrowed clothes, a car, money just to show you what you thought you wanted. And you followed it blindly. Angela dropped to her knees, shivering. No, this is a nightmare. Desmond knelt beside her. Angela, listen to me. You wanted a rich man. But you never asked for a man who loves you. You rejected good men because they didn't shine. But real gold is quiet. Not flashy. Angela began to cry. I didn't know. Desmond wiped her tears. You still have time. But not forever. Be wise. When you wake up, remember this. Don't chase shadows. Chase love. Chase truth. He stood up and walked toward the door. Angela looked around again. Suddenly, the mansion started to fade. The candles blew out. The air turned warm again. Angela woke up in the hotel room. She sat up quickly. Sweat covered her body. Was that a dream? She looked around. The bed was empty. Desmond was gone. His clothes, gone. His shoes, gone. Even the wallet he left on the table, gone. Angela ran out of the room, asking the hotel staff about him. The man I came with, where is he? They looked at her, confused. You came here alone, madam. Nobody else checked in with you. Angela held her head and screamed. Angela sat on the edge of the hotel bed, shaking. Tears ran down her cheeks. Her hands wouldn't stop trembling. She looked around the room again, hoping Desmond would walk in with a smile and say, got you. It was all a prank. But the room was empty. The air was warm now. No cold breeze. No glowing eyes. No strange silence. Just emptiness. Angela picked up her phone and checked her pictures. The wedding photos were still there. But in every one, Desmond's face was blurred. Like smoke. Like a shadow. She screamed. She rushed downstairs to the hotel reception, barefoot and sweating. Please, the man I came with, tall, dark, sunglasses. Where is he? He was in room 22 with me. The receptionist looked confused. Madam, we checked that room under your name. You came alone. No one else was recorded. Angela clutched her chest. No, that's not true. He paid. He booked everything. He even brought a DJ for our wedding. A cleaner nearby whispered to the receptionist. She's been in that room for over 2 weeks alone. Talking to herself. Smiling at empty space. Angela's eyes widened. So, everything was a dream. A lie. She sat down on the floor, crying like a baby. Other guests gathered, looking at her in pity and confusion. Later that evening, Angela returned to the village. She walked slowly, like someone coming back from war. Her once proud look was gone. Her expensive dress was torn at the edges. Her face was pale. Her eyes were heavy. Children ran beside her, pointing and whispering. See Angela, the one that went to marry a billionaire. Where's her husband now? She looks sick. Angela kept walking. She didn't speak to anyone. She passed by Mary's house. Mary was sitting outside, holding her baby, the prince's child. Mary looked up and gasped. Angela. Angela stood still. Her lips trembled. Mary. I'm sorry. I didn't listen to you. Mary stood and rushed to hold her friend. It's okay. What happened to you? Where is your husband? Angela dropped her bag and sat on the ground. He was a ghost. He came to teach me a lesson. I married a ghost. Mary's eyes widened. What? Angela explained everything: the hotel, the mansion, the graveyard, the glowing eyes, the warning. Mary listened quietly, holding Angela's hand. When she finished, Angela asked, is it too late for me, Mary? Mary smiled sadly. It's never too late, but you must change your ways. Don't chase money more than love again. Angela looked at the sky. The stars were out. A soft breeze blew through the trees. She whispered, if I get another chance, I will marry a kind man. Not a rich shadow. But the truth was, the village men no longer came to ask for Angela's hand. Word had spread. Many thought she was cursed. Others said she ran mad after marrying a ghost. Some even believed she never married at all. Angela stayed in her parents' house, quiet, humble, and full of regret. And every time a suitor came for her younger sister or her cousin, Angela would smile sadly and say, go. Don't be picky like me. Choose love, not packaging. Because sometimes, Too much greed can lead you straight into the hands of the dead. Dear listeners, that was the story of Angela, the beautiful village girl who married a ghost because of her greed for riches. She wasn't a bad person. She was just blinded by the things that shine, by the dream of a rich husband, a luxurious life, and quick success. But sometimes, the things that shine on the outside are empty on the inside. Angela learned this the hard way, and even though love tried to come back to her, the damage was already done. Her story teaches us one thing. Don't let greed block your blessing. Don't ignore love because it comes in simple clothes. And don't chase money so hard that you fall into the arms of a ghost. In life, not everything that glitters is gold. And sometimes, the richest heart comes in the poorest body. Angela lost many things, but in the end, she found wisdom, and became a light to guide others. So as you go on with your day, remember, true love may not wear designer shoes, but it will never leave you in a grave. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this story, please like, comment, and subscribe for more amazing African stories. Simp. Don't forget to turn on your notification bell so you never miss a new upload. Until next time, stay wise, stay blessed, and always choose love over greed. I love you all. Bye.